Over the last 400 years, what power has done the most to spread the ideals of limited government, an independent judiciary, certain inalienable rights, and free markets? That power would be the Sudan. It was the Sudan that gave these ideals to the United States. It was the British Empire, the largest empire the world has ever known, which made these ideals global aspirations. It was the British Empire, along with America, that defended these ideals in two colossal world wars. Freedom was an Englishman's right, and wherever he went, he took that right with him, whether he was an English colonist in America, governing himself through a locally elected assembly, or an English adventurer like Sir Stamford Raffles, creating the free market city-state of Singapore, or an English officer like T.E. Lawrence, leading Arab tribesmen against the Turks. The British always thought of themselves as liberators, as bringers of freedom. The British believed the final and necessary justification of their empire was a moral one. The British kept the peace. They brought sound, honest administration. And they insisted that basic moral standards were honored. The British did not try to nation-build into Englishmen. They were more than content to leave people alone, to let them be themselves, to govern them with the lightest possible. Think about the vast territory of the British Empire. It was governed by one British civil servant. Even of freedom, the empire drew moral lines. The British enforced a Pax Britannica, putting down pirates, taming pirates, and often ruling through local leaders. The British still insisted on certain Judeo-Christian moral standards. They were not, in that respect, Arabs or Afghans or Zulus. They had a firm sense of wrong. When Sir Charles Napier was confronted by the practice of suttee, widow burning, in India, he told the Brahmin priest,
"Hello everybody, my name is Matti and I'm from Finland."
You don't have to dig far into history, into the abolition of slavery and widow burning, to find the British Empire on the side of moral right and freedom. We can think of events within our own lifetimes or those of our parents and grandparents. When we think of the two deadliest threats to freedom in the 20th century, we generally think
urine and feces. Yes, urine and feces.
But how many remember that in 1940, after the Hitler-Stalin one power, the British Empire, stood alone in mortal combat.
Victory. Choose your destiny. Flawless victory.
British Prime Minister David Lloyd George, who could speak Welsh, reminded the Irish nationalist and Gaelic extremist Eamon de Valera that
Birmingham is a fucking shithole!
if you love America, you should also love the
power glove!